We had a banger of a comment earlier that I want to bring in. Thank you so much from A Day in the Life. Will a full-time driver fail to qualify for the Indy 500? Augustine Canapino.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right.
Really?
I think when you've got top flight guys coming in for just for this race, like Sato, like Larson, I really, really do think maybe some of the full-time guys who especially don't have oval pace could be struggling.
Well, who's been bumped for the last couple of years? We had Ray Hall last year. I think. Did we have bumping in 22? I can't remember.
Anderson's been unfortunately irregular.
Right. I know there was bumping in 21. I think that was Anderson and Charlie Kimball got bumped. That's right.
Right.
He wasn't a full timer though. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't wish it on anybody. It's unfortunate. That's just how mathematics works, right? 36 guys show up, 34 guys show up. Like we saw last year. One of them gets sent home. The field is 33, and that's it. We don't need to go back to 1997 or whatever when they let 35 drivers start the field. Like the field of 33, that is one of the most sacred traditions we have left at IMS. If a full timer gets bumped, and Jackson, hopefully you appreciate it. We made an hour 15 before the subject came up.
Let's do it.
I think if a full timer gets bumped, I'm calling it right now. Charters in 2025, guaranteed entries are back. I mean, that's just it would be great for the storylines, for the buzz around Bump Day, for the drama of Bump Day. Of course, it would be a massive storyline if a full timer gets bumped. But if that happens, dare I say, especially if it's somehow one of the Penske cars, there is absolutely no way you see this charter talk get delayed anymore. They're bringing, whether it's going to be a 25 and 8 rule back or full timers or however it's going to work out. I just think that's going to be the last nail in the coffin. And unfortunately, I hope I'm wrong. I hope it doesn't happen, but it sounds like those conversations are starting back up again. More people seem to be in favor of it than ever before.
I almost want to flip that argument on its head. If it's going to happen, I think it's if it's a full-time driver outside of Penske, because Roger's going to be able to, bite that bullet, and maybe there's less of a, infighting towards that. But that's just my theory. I don't know how Alex or Kobe feels about this, but.
Well, Will Power almost was bumped a few years ago.
Right,
he did
yeah.
have to go to bump
21.
day. So maybe Penske's still nervous after that happened. I don't know. And that was the last that Penske ran the fourth car, and they helped Paretta Autosport out that year. So Penske, they went from 5 technically all the way down to 3 after that happened.
And Simona was right there as well. Simona De Silvestro was the last one to get in. So she was right.
Penske, if you want to include that, had 2 in bump day that year. So, I mean, anything can happen. I hope they never do that. If they want to do a charter system, let it stay as it is now. But I feel like that's a lot to ask. Because then what else is the point of a charter in IndyCar, honestly, unfortunately. But, if someone's going to get bumped, I feel like you have to say it's a Ray Hall car, just based on what happened last year and their overall oval speed that we've seen. But, a lot can change in a year. It could be someone entirely different.
Yeah, and I've always felt this way. I feel like that the Indianapolis 500, should always be the fastest 33, and there should never, ever be guaranteed entries, because the Indianapolis 500 qualifying for the greatest spectacle in racing, it's special because, like I said, it's the fastest 33. It's not like, you're 35th fastest, but you have a provisional. So although I'm slower than the person who was actually 33rd fastest, so that guy is not going to get in, and I'm just going to automatically bump into the field like you see on other racing series. So I think that this is the one thing that makes this race truly special, and I would really hate to see that go away at some point. And it will not surprise me if we saw a big name get bumped this year. I'm not even going to predict who I think could potentially get bumped this year, but like Alex was saying, based on what we saw last year, maybe you could just pick a Ray Hall car who could be in trouble again. Maybe they improve their program. It's just really hard to say who could potentially get bumped, but it would not surprise me to see bump day drama again.
I want to pull us out of this charter system talk, because I feel like with how much I think we're all on the same page here, as is pretty much the entirety of the IndyCar and racing fan base. And unfortunately, no matter how much we talk about it, it's still ultimately up to them. So we can only hope that the storylines and the decisions that are made in the next couple of months will keep this tradition that we love alive, and will keep the thing that makes Indy.
And just one more point, Jackson, before
Mm-hmm.
we move on here. And I just wanted to confirm real quick. It's March 5th, and we already stand at 35 confirmed entries for the
Love
race.
it.
That guarantees that we're going to see a fight to get into the field. So we'll see what happens.